Hi everyone. Hi everyone. This is ASTROS Gate, and I'm Howard, and very happy to see you guys join this webinar today. And meeting will start soon because we want to more participants to join this webinar. So we will wait for 3 more minutes, and then we will start today's webinar. Oh, but I think more and more people join this webinar. So maybe 1 minute later, maybe we can start today's webinar. Okay, so let me introduce our team. I'm Howard to be a project manager and also as the FAE. And on the other hand is the Alan, is our sales manager, and also Noemi is our product manager and FAE. And today we will present the webinar today, introduce about our product line firmware update or software update. And also you can see today's webinar, we are using the Teams webinar. So on the top of the menu, you can see the Q&A section. Let me share my screen. No, just on the top of the menu, you will see the Q&A section. Okay, let me share my screen to show you how to do. We will have the Q&A section. And if you have any question today, you can leave your question here. You can create a post here. And at the end of the webinar, we will have the QA section. So in that session, we will answer your question at that part. So feel free to leave your question here. Okay, so I think we can start today's webinar. So let me share my presentation here. Let me a second. And let me check. I hope you guys can see my screen, right? Okay, so again, welcome everybody to join our ASTROS 2026 Q1 release webinar today. I'm Howard, and we will have the sales manager, Alan, and also the product manager, Noemi, today. So we will do this webinar about some part of the agenda. So this is today's agenda. So you will see at the first part, we will introduce about ASTROS part, the advanced part AP4 introduction. And this part, we will hand over to Alan, our sales manager, to introduce about our AP4. And second part is 2026 Q1 quarterly update. No matter for the firmware, for our product, for software, any new update for the new feature, new improvement, we will explain detail here. And the third part is FAQ troubleshooting. In this part, we will just introduce about some troubleshooting we just collect from our partner, from our end user, from our reseller, about when they do installation, no matter in pre-sales or after service, or facing some troubleshooting and how to do. And the fourth part is success case sharing. It means that in this part, we will share some useful case in current marketing and for your reference, maybe for some reseller, some partner, you can have more reference to combination different meeting room peripheral together to sales to the people, to the end user. And the last part is Q&A section. As I mentioned, if you can leave any question our Teams webinar Q&A session, and at the last part, 10 minutes, we will answer your question in this part. So please feel free to leave your question here. Okay. So before start today's webinar, again, very welcome to welcome every partner, and maybe you are partner, maybe you are the reseller, but all are our friends to join this webinar. Okay, so let me start today's webinar and let me hand over to Alan to introduce about our AP4 introduction.
Okay, thanks for Howard to do the introduction. So my name is Alan, sales manager from ASTROS. So I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone from the different time zone. So I believe you already know we have a new generation, AP4 series, and we just announced like in this Q1. So I believe most of you are quite interested in like what's the difference between the AP4 and AP2. So now here we are. So we would like to give you some introduction for the difference. So as you know, in the last series, AP2, we have like AP211 and AP212. So in this series, we also have AP411 and AP412. The main difference is the AP411 is only for the BYOD. So once you plug in the port, and then we'll auto project, and that's only for the BYOD. So for the other customer, I believe like many like 80%, 90%, the customer is using the AP412, which is combine the BYOD and BYON. So in this part, that's the same series like last time, depends on the 11 and 12. So the next one, I would like to say that AP412, because we're using the different chips, and so we provide like a more powerful, stable, and now we can support the 4K video support. So as before the previous one, AP2, and we can do like a 1080p for the BYOD. But now the AP4 we can up to the 4K video. So imagine if you in your meeting room or your classroom, you have like a bigger screen and they support the 4K resolution. So now we can also support the 4K video. And the second one is the fast boot implementation. So we have a calculator in the last series, AP2, and from plug-in to start the presentation is around like a 10 to 12 seconds. However, in the AP4, we use in the different chips and provide like a better performance. So now it can be like a 40% fast. So it's around like a 6 to 8 seconds. And the next one is the new chips. As I mentioned before, we already provide the different chips. It's like a new generation between the AP4 and AP2. So before was for the hardware and like the limitation from the AP2, and now we introduce about the software and the collaborations. So now we can decide to do like a auto projection. For example, before everyone have like some feedback, once they plug in the part, they also need to press the button. However, now we provide option so the user can decide if they want to do the auto project or not. So in some case, some user they don't like to do the extra step. They don't want to press the button. They want to know once they plug in, they can auto project, and now they can decide. So this our you can setting in our part utility. So you can do the setting for the auto presentation. And the second one is a multi-touch collaboration. So for example, if you are using the Windows laptop, and that you can do more like a multi-touch with your like the pad on the screen. So if you want to change the windows to do the different slides, and you can combine with our popular feature touchback together, and then you can now control the display back to your laptop with a multi-touch. So after Howard will show you this is how work. Okay, so the last one will be the BYON support. It's the same as usual, the AP212. we can do the BYOM. And now, because we provide like the better chips and new design, so we can also up to like 1080p for the resolution too. Next one. So here is a key update, key upgrade highlights. So we have like a 4K resolution support, 40% faster boot, and new chip for the better performance, and auto presentation, and enhance the durability and design. So for the design, we can slide on the next one. So here is some feedback and a new design from the AP2 and AP4. So we changed the LED, the lights to be like quite bigger, and so the end user can see like clear what's the color now. And also we can we changed the cable for more like a high flexible. Before the AP2 was quite like hard, so this one is quite soft. So once you left your laptop now, and then the soft cable can like protect your USB port, because we also received some feedback from the end user about this situation. The part will damage the USB port. So now we try to like change the cable to prevent this situation. So the last one, we also get a new design. So we made like a lighter and sleeker for our AP4. So you can see now the different design with the long, and here's the graphic. So you can have a look. So after this webinar, we can also share the record video for you and also this presentation, so we can see more detail about this. So here is the main comparison between the AP2 and AP4. So the first one is a mirroring resolution. Now the AP4 is up to 4K, and the start speed is 40% faster. And also the protocol, we changed to the WP2 and WPA3. And now the weight is 89. And also the features, auto presentation and multi-touch. And of course, the new features is coming out. So our R&D team will try to receive your feedback, and we will consider like what kind of the scenario or the reality, so we can try to implement the new features. So as always, we really welcome you to share your feedback, and your feedback is our improvement for the future. So here is the AP4 series. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alan. So then we hand back to the ASTROS. Today's main topic is quarterly update. And before that, I want to thank you, Alan, for the introduction about AP4. So you can tell that it's different between the AP2 to AP4. It's big upgrade for this part situation. Okay, so next topic, we will talk about the ASTROS quarterly update. So in the Q1 update, we just update our firmware for station, for pod, and also for the software like ASTROS App, no matter in the your Windows app or in the Android app or in the iOS web. Okay, so let's go. For first point is the connectivity and moderation. So first point is the Miracast connectivity, which means that in the past, when we're using the Miracast and the Wi-Fi, we just can using one at a time. It's just like when we're using the Miracast for the screen sharing, we cannot enable the station Wi-Fi. We cannot connect to the Wi-Fi of the station. And on the other hand, it means that when we connect the Wi-Fi to the station, we cannot using the Miracast. So in these two functions, we cannot use in at the same time in the past. But in the new firmware update, you can see on the slide, we can enable the Wi-Fi connectivity on presenter devices while using the Miracast. So we can using the Wi-Fi and Miracast at the same time in new firmware update. So when we enable that, so you can see when you're using your personal PC, you can find out the 201 Wi-Fi, and also we can using the Miracast to share your screen, or also see the AS201 here. So this is one update for this quarterly update for the Miracast, and Wi-Fi can enable at the same time. And the second one is enhance the moderation mode. So you can see here, we will call the restricted screen sharing exclusively to the ASTROS app and part for the content control, which means that in the past, the moderation mode is that to let the moderation to decide who can be the present. But in the new enhancement moderation mode, we just add a new icon in our control panel. So let me share the demo here. So let me start sharing the presentation here. Let me share my, Naomi, can you enable the camera? Okay, so let me pin another camera spotlight here. Okay, so right now you can see I set another camera to capture our main screen. So our main screen, we just already connect to our 201, and also I'm using the touchpad connect to a 201, our station. So back to our screen, I just do the sharing with the AP board and using the station connect to the screen. And so we just very easily to touch the icon on the bottom of the screen. So it will show the control panel. Okay, so in the control panel, in past we can we know we have the moderation mode here, right? So we can enable the moderation mode. And when you enable the moderation mode, you will see another icon here. Another option here is called only allow screen sharing via the ASTROS app or PUD. Okay, so which means that when you turn on this option, it means that the presenter want to share the screen, you must to use the ASTROS app and PUD. You cannot use like Miracast or browser sharing to the station. You just only can use ASTROS PUD and app. So when I just click turn on this option, you can see we back to the page. You will back to the home page because it disabled all present to sharing on this screen. So how to do? So for the moderator, you can control. You can see we have the user list. And all this list, just like the iPad, I have a one iPad here. And Joseph is Aiden's laptop, and also like Noemi's laptop here. So they all connect to the station, right? So for you can imagine that one situation is that if you are a teacher, and in the class you have a lot of students, you want the student, you don't want the student to share their screen by themselves. Because for the teacher, it's a moderator, he can control who can be the presenter, right? So for example, I want to share the Noemi screen on this big display. I just play the Noemi screen. So you can see, we back to the screen here is Noemi's PC screen is sharing to the display. And also, I want to see my own PC screen on the display. At the same time, I also play the part one is my own PC. So you can see it's a two source on the display, right? And also when I disable, turn off, nobody shares screen, right? And if you turn back to your PC, your personal PC like Noemi want to share Noemi's screen in her ASTROS app, it cannot, because under the moderation mode, for every presenter, you cannot share your screen by your own. It only allows the moderator to control who can be present. Okay, so this is the moderation mode with enhancement. Another feature, another option here is only allow screen sharing via ASTROS app or PUD. Okay, so again, I want to mention that is you can imagine the one scenario is that the teacher in front of the stage and all students have their PC. They want to share the screen, but they cannot control by themselves. Only the moderator can control who can be present. Okay, so this is the enhancement for moderation mode. Okay, so let me back to our presentation. So Noemi, you can turn off your camera, and we back to the presentation. Okay, so this is top two, first 1 and 2 update in this quarter. And number 3 is audio and compatibility, just like the audio control. So we just add the support for adjusting the speaker volume directly via the Windows PC during active presentation, which means that when you want to using the screen sharing by the no matter 101 or 201 our station, we can just directly using your PC the volume bar to adjust the volume here. And the next one is MTR compatibility. It means that in the past, a lot of customers were using the 201 or 101 connect to the MTR system. So when they connect to the MTR system, it will have some issue when using the audio. So we just fix it. So it means that when you update the new firmware in the station, you don't need to worry about connect to the MTR system, no matter the normal MTR system or Logitech MTR system. And next one is we expand the VC support. So we just added the key devices to the video conference support list. So you can see here, we just have the 3 model here is Jabra P40, Aber BB150, and the Earlink 850, which means that in the VC market, to combination with our wireless sharing box with the VC peripheral is very important because it can help the DST or reseller to bundle sales more and more conference room solution. And we just not only add these 3 new model into our compatible list, we also can back to our website. Let me also introduce our website. Let me share another screen here. Okay, wait me a second. Okay, so I believe you guys can see my screen here. So as you can see right now, our ASTROS Gate, we have our website, and on the top of the menu, we have a support. And in support, we have the compatible list here. So when you click the compatible list, you can see every just like top leading brand of the video conferencing, like the video bar, camera, speakerphone. We will do the full testing of the compatible. So we will list all this model on our compatible list. So for the partner, for the reseller, you can just refer to this list to combination of different bundle with the video peripheral to our station to do the bundle sales. So as you can see here, like the leading brand like the Aber, BYOM, Cisco, IPvo, Jabra, Logitech, we have a lot of leading brand video conferencing camera, video bar, or speakerphone, microphone here to do the compatible list. So you can refer to this list to do more and more VC solution. Okay, and we will keep updating for this compatible list. Once we have the new product, we can compatible to do the full testing with our station. Okay, and also let me just introduce more about our website for the support. So on the not only the compatible list, we also have the download center. So when you go to the download center, you can download no matter like the software for the maybe like the ASTROS App, you can download here in different OS. And we can see the user manual here and also the release note here. And also for our station and pod, the new firmware, the latest firmware or support guide, we can find out in our download center page. So it's quite important because every time if you want to find out the latest firmware or you want to find out like a user manual release note, you can just directly go to the support download center to figure out. And the next part is FAQ. We just collect the some question from our partner and from our customer, and we just collect this question into the FAQ page. So in this FAQ page, you can see a lot of the FAQ question and answer here. Okay, so you may feel confused. There's too many questions here. How do I search the accurate question for my inquiry? So on the top of here, we have the search FAQ. We have a search bar here. So you can just type in your personal request here to find out the FAQ. For example, if I want to check any FAQ related to the remote view, I can keep the remote view here. So you can see, it will just only show the 2 FAQ here. And we can just click, oh, this one is for the how to use the remote view function, the SOP here. And also another one, maybe it's like the why the frame rate slow when using the remote view, just like quite of FAQ here. You can search in the FAQ page. Okay, and the next one is the technical support. So this one is also very important because even though our partner, we have a lot of partner, we have our own chat group, but if you have any question, you can also go to our website to the technical support. And here we have the technical form. So you can select the different, just like you have a hardware problem, you have hardware issue, and you can select the model which you need. And we also can have like a ticket description to explain what kind of issue you face, you experience, okay, and submit. And when you submit, with the ticket will just like this technical form will create a ticket, and this ticket will forward to our team like Noemi and me. So we will just notify, will identify how to do the troubleshooting to you guys. So in the future, if you have more and more reseller or the SI more partners, so you can just let them know we have the technical support. We can just fill in the form to answer about any technical issue here. Okay, so it's all related to our website new update for in this quarter. Okay, so let me back to our presentation. Okay, and if I speak too fast, I can speak slowly. I'm afraid I speak too fast here. Okay, so let me share back to our presentation. Okay, so as I said, we just expand the VC support here. And next one, wait me a second. Okay, next part is iPad OS optimization. What is that mean? It's meant when we do the screen sharing in iPad OS, in the past, because iPad have the iPad Mini, iPad Pro, and iPad different iPad OS. So in different iPad model, they have a different vertical and horizontal verification rules. So when in the past, when we use the ASTROS app in iPad OS, it was difficult to identify which screen is correct direction. So right now we just improve it. It will just automatically to detect which screen is suitable for on your display. So let me just share another camera here. Noemi, can you turn on the camera? Okay, and let me spotlight. Okay, it's already spotlight. Okay, so I believe you guys can see me here. So I'm just using the one iPad, and I just using the ASTROS app on this iPad, and I just share screen here. Okay, and I just enlarge here. So when I share the screen, you can see when I just put the iPad in this direction, the screen will like that. But when I just twist the iPad to another direction, for the display will automatically to change its layout. Okay, So when I just like this, no matter which direction, it will just automatically to do the detection. Okay, so it's another improvement. So you don't need to worry about, because in the past, when you're using the iPad have a different model. So just like iPad mini, iPad Pro, maybe they have a different identify for the vertical or horizontal. But right now we just do the automation. And this improvement were in the new release ASTROS App in iPad OS. Okay. Okay, thank you, Noemi. And let me back to the screen here. Okay, I believe you guys can continue see my screen here. Okay, this part is touchpad and touchpad enhancement. As Alan said, AP4 we just support multi-touch. What is multi-touch? We can enable up to the 5-point multi-touch support during the touchback when using the ASTROS Pub, which means that you can see on this slide, when we using like the touchback connect to the station, our display, we can just using the multi-touch and up to the 5 fingers. So you can see the guide here. So if we using the 2-finger gesture, we can have a different function. 3-finger, 4-finger, 5-finger also have a different function. So, okay, let me share again about our camera to demo how to do. Wait me a second. Okay, so maybe again for the Noemi. Okay, so maybe this page is better. So as you can see, right now we just have the display we connect to the station, and I also connect the AP4 to my PC. So multi-touch is like that. It depends. We just can only use 1 finger, right? Just do the click. We just can click to different page, right? But right now we can use the multi-finger. For example, for 2-finger, we can do the run in, run out. So we have a 2-finger, we just run in, run out. Okay. And yeah, run in, run out. And I want to mention that this is for Windows default. So this function only can be enabled in Windows PC. In Windows PC. Right now, Mac OS cannot be enable this feature, but Windows PC can enable this feature. For 2-finger, we can do the ringing well, right? And for the 3-finger, you can refer to the presentation. You can switch apps or show desktop, right? So 3-finger, we just like this. We can see like the app list here, and we back to the presentation. We can just using the 3-finger to switch different app. For example, I just switch to the Teams, and we switch to back to the presentation. It's 3-finger. And for 4-finger, you can see here we can switch the virtual desktop. But right now we just only using one desktop, so we don't using the extend for have another desktop. So 4-finger, if I do the switch, we cannot switch to another desktop because right now I only have the one desktop here. But if you have extend your display, you can switch to different desktop. And also 4-finger, we just do like this. We can also have the app list here. Okay. And for the last one is 5-finger gesture. 5-finger gesture. You can see here, no system default, which means that in Windows, it doesn't have any default setting for the 5-finger touch. For 5-finger touch, you can customize by yourself, but it depends on the different PC because like Dell, Acer, Asus, all have different kind of the customized setting. So you can just research about what PC you have. You can just customize the 5-finger gesture here. Okay, so this is for multi-touch support in AP4. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me share back to the presentation. Yes, thank you, Noemi. Okay, so next part is FAQ troubleshooting. FAQ troubleshooting. This part we will introduce about. We just collect a lot of the customer feedback is that when they do the pre-sales or when they do the installation on the customer side, they will face some issue. No matter in the station or in pod, we will have some issue when they do the installation or after service. So we just collect some important troubleshooting here. So for first one is why is the video and audio sometimes unstable when using either the pod or the app for screen sharing? So this question is that you may face some or encounter some issue is that when you do the screen sharing by using pod, and sometimes in the middle the pod will disconnect. So that is because in default, the ASTROS station is as an AP, access point. So in some scenario, a crowded Wi-Fi environment may impact the connection stability between the station and the pod or app, which means that you can imagine that Wi-Fi is like the highway, right? So if in your environment, especially for some company or some enterprise, they will have a lot of Wi-Fi signal in one building or in one floor. So you can imagine that the highway is a Wi-Fi. If too much signal on this Wi-Fi highway, it will be very crowded. So it may have some traffic here. So when it have traffic, you can think that the connection will be not very smooth. So the connection may be disconnect. Okay, so how to do the troubleshooting? So answer first method is that to change a different Wi-Fi channel. So you can see the description here. You can use a Wi-Fi analysis tool to check which channels are being used in the environment, which means that you can using the one you can download any Wi-Fi analysis tool. Maybe on the public website, you can download any Wi-Fi analysis tool. For example, I'm using the Wi-Fi analysis tool, and I can see the all Wi-Fi signal here. And all Wi-Fi signal here, you can see they will have its own channel. They will have its own channel. So the channel, you also can imagine that it's another highway. So if the one Wi-Fi, the highway is, for example, you can see here, maybe it's too small, but I believe you can see some channel is distant. We have two different Wi-Fi signal, but they also in the channel 11. So you can imagine that one highway have two Wi-Fi signal here, two car here, maybe were too crowded. So you can just identify all the Wi-Fi signal in your environment, and that we can select our station to switch to another channel to avoid the Wi-Fi congestion. Okay, so which means that you can using the analysis tool to see which channel is not being used. And we can go to the web GUI of the station, and in the Wi-Fi page, we can change another channel of the station. So when you change another channel to the station, for the Wi-Fi connection will be much clear and much smooth. And also have another scenario is like if you want to use in the using multiple station in one scenario. You want to use in the one-to-many function to the different AS201. So you can set the different station into the different channels to avoid the Wi-Fi congestion. Okay, so it's just like we can using the we can set the different station in different highway to avoid the connection crowded. Okay, and another way is that the second answer is the ASTROS station. We can just join a local area network, which means it's LAN via the Ethernet, which means that you can just see in this diagram. Our station, we can using the RJ45 cable or Ethernet cable connect to the local network LAN. And then when your PC want to connect to the station, we can using the LAN to connect to the station. So which means that you can imagine that your station and your PC in the same network environment. So no matter the distance, just only need your PC and the station in the same network environment, you can connect directly to the station via the LAN. So it will make your connection more stable and much smooth. And we will suggest that when you connect that, you want much stable, you can select the ASTROS Wi-Fi off. ASTROS Wi-Fi off. So we just let the organization LAN to be the main connection in this environment. Okay, so the second question, this is the first question. And the second question is why does the pod occasionally require repairing after some time, even when it is connected to the DAN? Okay, so sometimes a lot of customers will say, when I using the pod connect to the station, right? And after the pairing, I using for a while, maybe 1 week. 1 week later, when I using the pod to share the screen again, and then we find out the pair is failed. So we need to repair. So why will happen? So this issue is likely caused by the station obtaining its IP address via the DHCP, because DHCP rule is that after a period of time, the DHCP server will assign a new IP address to the station. So for the pod is remember the IP to do the connection. So when the station have a new IP, will let the pod remember the wrong IP address. So we cannot do the connection. So we need to require the repairing. Okay, so how to resolve that? First suggestion we will like to suggest is that we can assign a static IP to the station. We can assign the static IP to the station. Okay, because when we assign a static IP to the station, for example, 192.168.125.171, it will let the station always have the same IP address. So for your pod, you will not confuse or not remember the wrong IP address to do the connection. Okay, so this is we strongly suggest using the static IP to the station to do the pairing. Another way, we also have another way. You can pair the pod before connecting the station to the LAN, because a lot of customers will say in the customer company or in customer enterprise, they just only using the DHCP in their switch, in their router. So how to do when we face this situation? So first we just disconnect the LAN first. We just unplug the physical LAN port cable, and then we pair the pod to the station. And every station we will have the default IP is 192.168.120 and 0.11. Okay, and when we pair the pod to a station, the pod will remember the default IP, and then we reconnect the LAN. So this will helping maintain the pairing even if the IP address change. Okay, so this is another way. This is a two-way we can avoid this situation. So one is set the static IP. Another way is disconnect the LAN and pair the pod, and then reconnect the LAN. Okay, and third question is that when connecting the ASTROS to devices with built-in system like MTR or Zunzuns, the ASTROS station's main interface replaces the original MTR or Zunzun UI. What does it occur? Is it possible to display the ASTROS interface only during the screen sharing? You may think it's very complex, but it's not very complex. It's just like you can imagine that one MTR system, and we're using the station connect to the HDMI in, and then the NTR system page will turn into the ASTROS main page. But for the user, we're confused because if the user get into the one meeting room, they want to use the MTR, but they just only see the ASTROS main page. So how to do? First, we can go to the ASTROS station's web GUI, web page, and then we can go to the power saving page. And in power saving page, we will have the sleep mode. And sleep mode, we will have the one more option here is enter sleep mode automatically if no operation is made for. We can select a 10 second, okay, and select type option here. And after we setting this, what the result? The station will enter the sleep mode after 10 seconds when no device is connected. How it works? So it means that when the pod is connected, the 201 will stay active and display the ASTROS main page, right? So when you want to share the screen, the main page will come out. So it makes sense. But if you don't want to use the AS201, so your pod is disconnected, the AS201 will go idle and enter the sleep mode. So when the 201 enter the sleep mode, it will shut down his screen. We're back to automatically switch back to the MTR or Zun mode screen. Okay, so you can follow this instruction when the customer want to use in the MTR with our 201. Okay, and the boards, when the pod is connected to a PC or laptop, it displays a purple or pink LED and fails to share content. However, it works properly on some PC or laptop. What could be the reason? Okay, sometimes when you want to share the screen by using the pod, you may notice that why I cannot share it and the LED light is showing the purple or pink LED. That is because the presentation mode is changed. Because in some setting for the Windows, sometimes you will let the Windows misunderstanding and switch back to the PC screen only. So what we have to do, we just need to press the Windows plus P, and you will see the list option comes out, will pop out. And then we need to make sure we will not select the PC screen only. We will not select the PC screen only. We can select the duplicate. We can select the extend. Select these two can also share the screen. But if you select the PC screen only, as the message mentioned, it will only show the PC screen. So it will not show in the display port to the pod. Okay, so we also see some issue when the customer using the other brand presentation wireless box like the B brand or C brand, they also encounter this kind of issue. So I think this is a common issue for wireless sharing issue. Okay, so the next part is successful cast sharing. And this part, we will share some successful cast sharing. And I believe you guys have already know some successful cast, no matter in Taiwan, in global. So I just want to mention again about some scenario. One is that for the enterprise. So enterprise, most of the enterprise meeting room is for the conference. So it's BYOM. So you can see the diagram here. We just connect a USB, HDMI, USB to the room like video bar, camera, and speakerphone, and HDMI to the display. And then we can do the sharing by using our station to our PC, right? So it's a very common situation. So, but in some scenario, you can see we have the multi-screen here, right? So when we only have one station, how do we share the screen to the multi-display? So you can see here, this diagram, we also connect the USB to the room devices, and also we have the HDMI connect here, and we can add one more HDMI splitter to share our HDMI signal to two displays. And also we just suggest the customer you can connect the switch or Wi-Fi router to a station and to your PC to make the network more stable. So the all sharing will become very stable and very smooth. And some cases is related to like education or government. So in education and government, they will just their meeting, most of the meeting are the local meeting. And for local meeting, it's just like the presentation meeting. So it just directly connect to the HDMI and sharing the screen by using the pod or app. So also it's very common. But also you can see some scenario we're using the multi-screen. So how to do that? We also can using the one-to-many function to using the one PC share the same content to different station to share in the different HDMI screen. And we also suggest that to always connect to the router or the switch to make the network much stable. And another successful case in the you can see on the right hand side here is some financial service. In this case is in Taiwan, a Yuanda financial holding building, and you can see on this slide we will have the big projector here. Oh, sorry, we will have a big projector here, and every participant on this meeting have at least his own PC. So you can see the diagram here. We not only just do the sharing, for the other participant, they can using the remote view to see the content from the display. Okay, so it's the successful case in Taiwan and also in the global. Okay, so I just finished my today's part of the quarterly update, no matter for the firmware update, software update, and for some FAQ troubleshooting and some successful case here. And thank you for a lot of time because I spent almost 1 hour to explain about all details here. And we will back to see the Q&A. So right now is Q&A session. So let me check back to the Q&A session. What else we can check here? Wait me a second. Okay, so right now, let me share my screen here, and we can see what is the QA section here. Okay, so first question, have you investigated to have a smart channel hooping function to let the system switch to a less crowded channel? Okay, that is a good feedback, but right now,
No, not yet.
yeah, not yet we have this kind of.
When it's also to emphasize is that we are not a professional Wi-Fi router device. So we are focusing more on the presentation. And that's why right now we are not putting this as our consideration, but it's a good feedback. We will come back and discuss more on this. But just to mention that when doing this auto hopping, that sometimes that the package will lost while switching, hopping around. So this will need to think more and we will discuss. So thank you, Ender.
Yeah, thank you, Anders. I think it's a good feedback, and we can give tactics feedback to our team. And as Noemi mentioned, we need to emphasize that we are not the professional Wi-Fi switch or Wi-Fi router we are using for the presentation or BYOM solution. Yeah, but it's a good feedback. And okay, next question also from the Anders. Will you have a replacement program for the upgrade of dongles AP2 to AP4? I think this part we need to answer by sales.
Yes.
One content. Oh, I see Ella have already answered. We don't have a replacement program as AP2 and AP4 are different products and price. And it's another option for the end user. Yeah, so please refer it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll also explain this because as I know, we already the EOL for the AP2 and I already shared the information like in the last end of the year. So I believe some of you already have like the AP2 is still in the stock. So AP4 and AP2 we can consider is different options because it's not everyone maybe need the like the strong the performance like the AP4 maybe it's not like every display is support to the 4K. So that's the different options. So you can have like the sales strategies for the AP2 and AP4. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, and thank you, Anders, to ask this question. And next question is Peter. Will Miracast have a pin code function as well? And Noemi said, is it support too? So yes, for the Miracast, we also have the pin code function. Okay, so does anyone have another question? Let me back to the chat. Let me see if you have any question here. Okay, so I see a new question is, does the device connect to Wi-Fi network in the office? And Noemi have already answered the question and detail here. I will not reply it again, but if you have any questions, you can ask here. And as I said, we have FAQ and we also have the technical support and we also have our chat group. If you have any question, feel free to ask us because me and Noemi, our team, will reply you as soon as possible. And we will try to figure out how to support you guys locally. Yeah. Okay, so does anyone have any question related to our products? No matter for the AS201, AS101, or our pod, our software, no matter like ASTROS App or pod utility. Does anyone have any question? And yeah, thank you again. Today, I see a lot of guys here, a lot of people join this webinar. We are very happy to see you guys. And we will plan to have this kind of webinar maybe every quarter or every half a year to update to you guys about our ASTROS knowledge about like the installation or the configuration of our ASTROS product. And also, if you have any suggestion, have any feedback, or any technical support you need us to help, please let us know. We were very happy to communication with you guys. Okay, so I believe we will have a good time, right? So, okay, so I think we don't have any question here. So again, thank you guys. Thank you very much. And this is our ASTROS team. We have Alan, Noemi, and Howard. And also online, we have our team like Phong, Tammy, Alice, the other members of our team. And very thank you to you guys to join today's webinar. We are very happy. We are very great to see you guys. And maybe in the future, we can see you guys physically, maybe in the any exhibition or when we do some visit to the other country. We hope we can see you guys physically or maybe in the Taiwan Computex. Next month, we will have the big exhibition in Taiwan. Yeah. And thank you again and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.